Hey, we just got out of Terror at 5,000 Liam Neeson's.
It's badass Liam Neeson on a plane.
Yeah, it was fun. It was, what do you want from me? It's a good movie. I got nothing else to say.
It's a genuine good movie, though. It's not good just because Liam Neeson's in it.
Yeah, it's not one of
There's
those.
two calibers.
Yeah.
There are.
It's not one of those where it's, yeah, if Liam Neeson wasn't in it, it really, really would have sucked. Which is part of what really kind of makes Liam Neeson very much
Magical.
kind of the magical Charles Bronson of this era of action movies, very much so, because I can think of bad Charles Bronson movies that I've seen from the 80s, and they were instantly made better by the fact that, or watchable at least, because Charles Bronson was in them. And with Liam Neeson, like, Taken 2 is not a very good movie, like, at all.
But it's fun because he's in it.
It's watchable because Liam Neeson is in it, because Liam Neeson can bring a level of dignity to scenes that have Jar Jar Binks in them. He's dignified. He's dignified, not necessarily the scenes, but he's dignified. Like,
I really wish I had seen him when he was in Springfield, like, because he was going to be in the Abraham Lincoln movie, and apparently he was like downtown. I was like, oh my god!
I will find you and I will free you.
We're just like dropped bow. We're not worthy.
Right? Yeah.
No, this movie, even if Liam Neeson wasn't in it, though, if it had like another strong character, it's still a good movie.
It's a solid suspense movie. It's a good escape movie. It is. It's
bottle movie.
Yeah, very much so, and I actually kind of like movies like that. I like a lot of plane movies. I like Passenger 57. Flight Plan was kind of fun. Snakes on a Plane. I legitimately like Snakes on a Plane.
Executive Decision, even though
Executive Decision. Yeah, that one that Shatner was in, was it Horror at
Star Trek?
No, it was like
that wasn't a real suggestion.
See, a better joke would have been if you brought up Terror at however many thousand feet
there's
from.
something on the plane.
Yeah, no, he did a TV movie. It was like Horror at like 10,000 feet or something like that. That is, I mean, it's not very good, but I mean, it's Shatner. He makes it fun. But no, this is a solid suspense movie. There's one thing about it that, well, actually, I'll get to this in a little bit because this will be really spoiler heavy. But one thing that I will say that, like, it's not like silly internet cynicism has just been writing it off as Taken on a plane.
No.
That you can tell that from the fucking trailers. No one fucking gets kidnapped. He's an air marshal on a plane. There's someone threatening to bump off passengers, and then later on there's a bomb on a plane. Yeah, it's just like Taken.
It's Liam Neeson action-y film, so clearly it's like
that
Taken.
means it's like Taken. What?
Well, it showed a girl.
It's
so
not
clearly.
even. Yeah, there's a little. His character. Yeah, exactly. Like that's like when like Arnold was doing his.
Commando?
Yeah, like during that period in the 80s when Running Man came out, was there anybody going, "Oh, it's just Commando on a game show"? What? Really? Like, it's got Liam Neeson in it. That's the similarity between it and he's not even playing a similar character.
Mm-hmm.
The character, I mean, yeah, it's an action movie and he does kick ass in it, yeah, but the character that he's playing
Respect my Thor time.
is incredibly burnt out. That's something I really liked about this movie, was that in a mainstream movie like this, to have a character who's like chain smoking and
Drinking
hard
on the
drinking,
job.
yeah, drinking on the job, and is like really fucking burnt out. And he pulls that off really well. Like, that is nothing. That is not his character from Taken. His character from Taken is pretty well put together. I mean, yeah, he knows how to kill a motherfucker, and has some problems with his family. But in this movie, no,
This one he didn't have or are we doing spoilers now?
Yeah, well, like, in this one, like, he's like, as burnt out as, like, fucking John McClane in Die Hard 3 and Die Hard with a Vengeance. Like,
I'd say he's more burnt out. Like, he's just almost broken.
I think that because this character is like really fucking broken. Like, he lost a kid to cancer, and
Wife left him.
Yeah, and John McClane, like, he was separated from his wife, but he was mainly hungover in that. Like, if it were any other day, he might not have been quite as burnt out.
And it wasn't like the typical, oh, I'm a drunk and things are so horrible. Like, it's really moving.
He's still trying to do his job that he hates. Like, that whole sequence with him at the airport at the beginning was really good, because there's not a lot of dialogue in it, but it
sets up so much.
It sets up really how much he hates his job, and also how annoying airports are. Like, it really did hit on a lot of that. That was fun. Not
even that, though, but even the beginning in his car, because you know that the plot of it is that, oh, well, you're the one taking over the plane, they think. The phone conversations and things like that. I'm like, oh, that's going to get misconstrued. And so it's just like this big setup that they bring back. And they're like, they heard you talking when you got to the airport. So it's fun to ride those little things as they go.
There's one really, really... I don't know if this was intentional, but to me, it's really clever if it was intentional. I'm sorry, I've got to get into spoilers on this.
We usually do.
The trailer for the movie kind of makes you think that Julianne Moore is the bad guy. The theatrical trailer. Because, I mean, not really that it's showing her doing anything. You just kind of assume, because she's one of the only other names in the movie, so you kind of assume she's probably the bad guy. But the TV trailer for it, a lot of the TV trailers for it, seem to blatantly give away who a villain in the movie is. But after seeing the movie, they didn't. I spent this whole movie. Well, that's good. I spent this whole movie thinking that the flight attendant was going to turn out to be the villain, because there's a part in the TV trailer for it, where it's edited together to make. Remember at the end when she punches the guy?
Yes.
They sort of edited that in the TV trailer to make it look like she was hitting Liam Neeson. Like, it's so quick. You see her punch somebody, and then you see Liam Neeson fly up with his gun. I saw that in the TV trailer and was like, thanks, TV trailer. You seem to give away who the villain is. And then when you're watching the movie, they're almost going out of their way to make it look like...
Everybody, though.
Really, everybody, yeah, but... her too, especially her.
I think the focus switched between, there were quite a few key people, and they did really well at kind of a who is it, and you kind of jump back and forth, and it kept going for me between Julianne Moore and the flight attendant, just because it was kind of... I was hoping maybe they would go against the classic, buddy, I'm the girl you met and I'm going to help you solve the crime. But after the flight attendant had that scene with him, unless she was a really good actress within the movie, she seemed really shaken that I stopped suspecting her after a while.
Well, I mean, the fact that she wasn't seeming, the fact that she was a little shaken didn't make me think that, that obviously means she's not.
No, I meant when she was pissed at him that he thought it was her, and she was horrified that
I've seen stuff like that in movies where they do turn out to be the bad guy. But
I've seen 2 trailers for this, though. You analyzed the trailers more than I did, though.
It wasn't really. It's not that I was analyzing it. It's just that it was blatantly making it look like she was the villain, and then she doesn't turn out to be the villain. And then when you find out who is, I was kind of like, oh, okay, I didn't
see that coming.
No, I didn't. I didn't see it coming.
And that might ruin it, because now people are going to be like, which didn't they see coming?
Well, I said that I was getting into spoilers, so if anyone watched beyond that, they forfeited the right to get pissed at me.
We never do spoilers. What are you talking
about? But anyway, so yeah. Then when you actually found out who who is behind it, it actually got me. I didn't see it coming. And then when you are thinking back at about a lot of different things that wouldn't have made sense if the people who were involved weren't involved, thinking back on everything that happens, it makes perfect sense who the villain, who the people behind this are. It does. They really do cover that a lot. I mean, there's still some silly things about the movie. But it's a fun film.
I like that there was a reason for this. It wasn't just, we don't like you, or you did something to us, or just generic, hey, we're bad guys, we want money. And I don't know if you want to go and spoil that much. Yeah. Basically, it was 9/11 and security type stuff, and
Yeah, it was somebody who lost a family member in 9/11, and now they hate it. They hate airport security.
no, he went to fight. He was also they were both in the military.
No. But he said he lost somebody on 9/11, and because of that,
he joined the military.
Yeah.
And so it was just kind of they were trying to prove that this burnt out drunk guy.
Mm-hmm.
They were trying to villainize him because video leaked because you got jackasses when he's going crazy. He's like, why are you doing this to me? Doing the
like
wrong people.
It's like Arlington Road, but with a happy ending.
That's what I thought it was gonna be. And then so at the end, or I don't know.
I knew it wasn't gonna.
End.
I knew it wasn't gonna end like that.
I thought it was gonna end either like kind of they premature kill him before they find out it wasn't actually him. Because I'm just sitting there and telling them, like, the flight attendants, I'm like, go tell them that it wasn't actually him so they don't shoot him as soon as he comes out of the plane.
Oh, right. Yeah, I didn't think that was going to happen, but it...
But
I mean, there's
some
some, like, if they just shot him when he come out of the plane, no, I didn't think that was going to happen. And I saw snakes on a plane. When the guy gets off the plane, the snake just lunges at the guy and then gets shot off of
There's
him.
always that
was
like,
awesome.
the punk ass rookie that's trying to prove himself. Be like, yeah, I got the terrorist. It could have gone that way.
Sure. But at that point, I'm pretty sure they made it clear he was. There are a couple silly things about the movie, but I had a good time, so who gives a shit? Like there are, because I mean, it's one of those where like he could easily prove he's not. They spend the whole movie thinking he's a terrorist, and he, even being on board the plane, he could really easily prove he's not. He's got an entire log on his phone that proves he's not that he's not the bad guy. And
his phone ended up getting janked, and so he had the bad guy's phone.
No, he still had his own phone. He still had his own phone.
Oh, that's right. She fixed the battery.
She fixed the battery on the other air marshal's phone. His phone was fine. The one that unless I'm remembering it wrong, but I thought that the one that got broke was the other air marshal's phone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was, because he's looking through it, and that's how he found out there was cocaine in the briefcase.
Yeah, how they do it, it's kind of interesting, because it's all by text versus phone call and whatnot. And so it's almost like a minority report as like off to the side of the text scrolling up with the time
that was a clever
and
way
the
to
conversations.
shoot that.
And then on the broken phone, you've got it like Liam Neeson is seeing it with the little like broken glass like through it.
The only thing about that made me laugh was that whenever the word fuck was being texted,
that's where it was broken.
Conveniently cracked in that spot. Like, that was okay. Just don't put the word fuck in it then. That was really distracting. And like when it's the whole deal about like how the passengers like are thinking he's the bad guy, and to the point to where they're ambushing him. Like, that whole thing easily could have been resolved if he just explained what the fuck was going on.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, and it's another one of those bottle movies that make you go like, no, just tell him. And even from the beginning, when the guy was like dead, I'm like, why are you doing that? Just explain, show him the phone.
Yeah, I'm like, an easy explanation would have really worked in a lot of these places, and
that way,
he is incredibly trusting towards certain people when he should literally trust nobody. Like, we've had a conversation before. I trust you, all right, but at the same time, I mean, at the end of
he travels with the staff all the time, so he trusted them a little more.
He trusted them a little more, but
Julianne Moore, he should.
Yeah, like, there are people where it's like, you should really literally be trusting nobody in this situation.
Or you trust them
until it gets to the end. But yeah, but you know what? This is a purely like escapist suspense movie.
To move the plot along.
You go to it to see like Liam Neeson like on a plane and get some thrills out of it, and it is suspenseful. It is a suspenseful film, but with everything that I'm saying though, like being like, you know, he really should have explained what was going on. At the same time, they do kind of make it clear he's not the best at his job. Like, he is a hard drinker. He doesn't want to be doing this. It even alludes to the fact that when it mentions that he used to be like a cop, And it even alludes to the fact that he wasn't a very good cop.
Yeah.
And he's just kind of doing this air marshal job because I guess that's all that's left for him.
I'm surprised he was able to get the air marshal job because I can't remember what happened with his other cop job, but not like dishonorably. Like
Yeah.
something happened to where he got kicked off, so he ends up doing air marshal. I'm like, you'd think if you did bad and a police officer, they wouldn't put you on a plane.
I don't know. I don't know how that works, but
No, I don't.
I mean it helped along the plot of the movie, especially when you find out who the villains are and why they chose that particular plane.
I thought it was weird that, or not weird, but just kind of a fun little nod, like in the car when he's, going through his stuff, they've got, the news on the radio being like, yeah, these air marshals, and it's the easiest job is flying around, sitting on your ass on a plane. You didn't catch that?
I must have missed that.
Oh, and then of course the terrorism thing. The people have TVs in the back of their chairs, and they're watching it unfold because the guy was, like, uploading videos because they didn't shut down the network because he had to, conversate with them.
Yeah.
And so it is what you see. It's like they blow it out of proportions. The conversations they were having on the news, I mean, it was dead on of what happens, and I just think that I was waiting for it to get, like, edited like the news stories do, where when he was explaining his life story and that he didn't do it, that it was, like, gonna go up and...
That stuff does happen. You're right. Like, when the bomb went off in Boston, the New York Post, I think it was, put on their front page 2 guys who did not do it.
Yeah.
It was like, bagmen, where are these, or something like that, and those guys are rightfully fucking sued.
Yeah, and so, but because the verbiage of his speech explaining who he was and, that background was true, and then explaining what was actually going on, I'm like, oh god, these news sources are just gonna be like, he's admitting why he's hijacking the plane, and they're like going on, I'm like, no. Again,
he really could easily prove that he, as with the dude that he's talking to, that he's not the guy who works for TSA. Is that who he was on the phone with most of the time?
Oh,
the guy who
TSA, yeah.
his boss or whoever. He really could easily prove that he did not do this. But one thing I did like about this, like they really could have. I'm glad that they didn't. I'm really glad they didn't. They really could have made the other passengers in this movie really annoying.
Oh my god, yeah.
And they don't. Like when the passengers like ambush him and they're doing all of that, that's resolved fairly quickly. And
you're just like, no, stop.
Yeah, that is resolved fairly fast. Like they could have drawn that out longer than they did. I'm glad they didn't. And then once it is resolved, people who in a much lesser movie would have been so fucking obnoxious. In this, they weren't. I mean,
you had the character guys, but even they like had common sense. Like, you had the annoying I'm all that guy, and then when Liam Neeson's in the aisle, he's like, you gave me shit. All right, here's your gun.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like, oh, motherfucker.
Yeah, the guy who was giving him attitude, like helps him out by sliding his gun. The cop, the guy who
I love that cop.
That guy was great, and
you gave me an unloaded gun.
Yeah, when that guy is like really like thinking Liam Neeson is the bad guy, and he's doing, and you are sitting there in the audience like just going like, stop doing that.
Yeah.
Because we know that Liam Neeson is innocent, but I mean, put yourself in that guy's shoes. He's gonna do exactly what that cop did on the plane. And then when the cop figures out Liam Neeson is not the bad guy. He's
then you kind of still maybe suspect the cop because he's like, he gives him his gun and you're like, oh god, no, it could be the cop though, because you don't know.
You gave me an unloaded weapon?
I love that. Oh, and then when he
turns out to be a fun guy.
Yeah, the pressure and the gun like flies in the air and Liam Neeson, it's like the showdown thing. That was great. But what I like about this is you've got a bottle movie, you've got suspense. There's not always those music cues that they do in suspenseful things. Sometimes the lack of music makes it more suspenseful. Yeah. And the reactions in this are, for the most part, realistic. You've got the people that are like, hey, does this seem familiar to you? And are gonna jump them. Liam Neeson, even though you're sitting there saying, you could easily get out of this, it is a realistic reaction for someone that may be in that situation, because you're just like, fuck, they're gonna think I just killed this guy, and, that's my account, and you just, So it can be excused. It's like, hey, you could have had an out, but
Sure. I mean, I do
not
like how
unfathomable.
for the most part, a lot of the soundtrack, I mean, it does have music in it, but when a lot of stuff is going on, all you have is just the sound of the plane, really, the quiet sound of the plane and whatnot. I mean, it's one of those movies where people do not hear jack shit so long as they're not in the same frame.
I had that too. I'm like, how are they not hearing? That was like the first passenger right there, and Liam Neeson's yelling to the chick.
I'm trying to save it. And when
there's a bomb on the plane.
When he and the other dude are fighting in the
Which other dude?
When he's fighting the other marshal,
okay.
When they're fighting inside the thing, it's like this seems like it's a red. I think it's a red eye flight. Or it's all at night anyway. But anyway, on this red eye flight where like everybody's asleep. Yeah, it was when they were fighting in the bathroom. I was kind of like, somebody would probably hear that. But then I was like, whatever, I don't care. This is entertaining.
And that was another thing too, is because, I mean, are we going full spoilers here?
We've pretty much spoiled everything else.
I don't know. Whenever I say something, I get in trouble. The other air marshal ends up being a dirty air marshal, but nothing to do with kind of the account. And he's got this suitcase of cocaine. And so Liam Neeson eventually finds it because the hijacker is just setting up pawns basically and like sending texts to these people, be like, go over here, do that, and I'll give you money. And so Liam Neeson is basically being misled and hurting innocent people. And so the first thing the other marshal is like, what? I need the money. I'll cut you in. And so Liam Neeson is like, well, you're the fucker texting me when he was talking about cocaine. The bomb ends up being in the cocaine and Liam Neeson is digging through it. I'm like, dude, he's going to have like, he has cuts and shit all over his hand. I'm like, he dies, does that? Like, the terrorist was jacked up on cocaine. Help his case. Like, no,
I did figure there was more than one person involved with this.
There always is.
Yeah,
there's never just one person.
I thought it was going to end up being like the flight attendant and the co-pilot.
Well, and after Julianne Moore said that, why she wanted the window seat because she didn't know how long she was going to live in each day, and I was almost resuspecting her there because I was like, well, maybe she's doing it and money's going to go to like her daughter or a family member because she's dead.
That makes me. I am so glad that there was not some final gotcha twist at the end of this, where where like it would
Julianne
turn out
sunglasses, and
right,
walks away.
Yeah, like she was the mastermind of the whole thing. Like I'm so glad it did not do that. I didn't really think it was gonna do that because it wouldn't have made any fucking sense, but I mean...
Movies have done it before!
I was gonna say, since when has that stopped some movies before? So, they did not do that. Like, there's not some final gotcha act at the end of it. Like, it wraps up very, very nicely. Sure, any movie like this, like Flight Plan, if you really dissected it, you could probably come away with a few things that would be slightly far-fetched, but who doesn't want this movie to be a little far-fetched? It's
any action movie pretty much is, to an extent at least.
Certainly to an extent, yeah. But yeah, this is
good. Too.
It was a very well-paced movie.
There was never a part, because sometimes bottle movies, you got people moving slow and there's no talking, and you're like, oh my god, like, I mean, your attention is held. They do it really well.
Yeah, and Liam Neeson easily carries this movie. I mean, like anything he's in. He can easily carry trash. This movie's not. But when you have him the lead in this kind of movie, he is a larger than life figure. He sweats charisma right off of him. Yeah, exactly.
You actually care about the character. I don't think it would have been as effective with anybody else in that role, honestly. Like, I don't think you could have really stuck a no-name in there, or...
No, I mean, like, it's not a movie that is only really good just because Liam Neeson is in it.
I said it wouldn't be as effective. in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah.
I just really love Liam Neeson.
Yeah, oh god, me too. I will see I've been looking forward to this movie since I first saw the trailer, because I will see anything with Liam Neeson in it. I'm like, Liam Neeson on a plane, there's like a terrorist on the plane, and there's alright, I'm fucking in. I am in.
Just add badass to any Liam
Sold.
Neeson movie. You'd be like, badass Liam Neeson on a plane, badass
Yeah.
Liam Neeson in the snowy woods, badass Liam Neeson in
Yeah.
Jedi.
Yeah.
That should be advertised on every poster. Badass Liam Neeson, and then fill in the blank of whatever the plot is.
Sometimes they trick my ass, like Battleship, where he's only in it for 10
I
minutes.
didn't see that one.
That movie
They Steven
sucks.
Seagal'd it.
I mean, I knew he wasn't the lead in it, but God, that movie, I have no idea what he was doing in that movie.
That's bait and switch.
I have no idea. I don't know, because, I mean, the trailers didn't necessarily make it look like he was the lead, but, I mean...
They made it a very much, from what I remember, and I didn't see the movie.
It's horrible.
It seemed very much like the Armageddon setup of "I don't want you to date my daughter," from what I remember.
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah, so you would think that he'd be in it more, and so I think that
not.
was a bait and switch.
He's not. He's not even in, like, most of the action in that movie is taking place under, like, this dome that the aliens have created, and he's outside the dome. He's like the guy who's giving them orders. He's barely in it.
Though. Maybe he really liked the game Battleship.
I think he was just doing somebody a fucking favor. I have no idea what he was
Because
doing.
he doesn't
in that
need a
movie.
paycheck movie.
Right?
So,
Yeah, like, I mean, not that, at least. Like,
You know
I mean,
what?
he's in some really B-type movies, but Battleship was just awful.
maybe so much shit got changed from when he signed on that it just wasn't what he had signed
For
up for
Battleship,
anymore.
the movie,
I didn't see it.
I
don't
don't
know.
think that movie originally started out as Das Boot.
I'm still waiting for motherfucking H3, Hungry Hippos.
If you put Liam Neeson in it, I'll fucking go see it. I'm the motherfucker who went to go see Phantom Menace again when they re-released it in 3D.
Oh no, I was there too.
Oh, fuck.
With the fucking...
I mean, I just went to go see it for the sight. I wouldn't have seen it regardless, but it... Man,
douchebag that sat next to me. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
like, he really is... Not to go off on that movie again, because Jesus Christ, everyone under the fucking sun has. But watching him in that movie is weird. Because he is really good in that. I mean, he is.
Ewan McGregor is too.
Yeah, but you mean Ewan McGregor's like doing a pretty good impression of Alec Guinness.
Right, and that's
he's
very
given
good.
he's given nothing to do in Phantom Menace. He's barely there.
That's because they cut his scene of him falling down the waterfall because it's inappropriate for a Jedi to make mistakes, even though Luke made mistakes. You didn't know about that?
I don't want to know about that.
Hey, just it's still
really
it's still
like
part
I think
of it.
the
You know
whole
heritage.
trilogy seems to be based on a Jedi making a mistake. Liam
Oh, yeah.
Neeson saying that this kid will do whatever.
Let's just review Star Wars. while we're at
Yeah,
it.
let's just fucking review the prequel trilogy while we're at it. That's stupid. But Liam Neeson in that movie, like,
It's just magic whenever he's on screen.
whenever he's on screen, it's like this is the one actor who is really,
He shouldn't be in this movie.
yeah, who's giving a performance that belongs in a good movie. Because he's acting like this movie's gonna win some fucking awards.
If you would just take Liam Neeson's scenes in episode 1 and showed it to screen test audience, they would have thought it would be like amazing. Well, and cut Jar Jar out, but you know what I mean? Like the
Yeah,
scenes
show
with his
him-
conversations and things.
Show him the clips from the Phantom edit. Yeah, this is one of the many like times that they took that. Somebody took it and tried editing it into
Oh,
a good movie.
I didn't know that.
I mean, it's better, but I mean, it's sort of like
Part
It's
of the
one of
fun
those things,
anymore
like-
is just making fun of Jar Jar and getting together.
it's one of those deals where it's just like polishing a turd. It's like whatever. Like when they did that with like Highlander, when they did that with Highlander 2, The Quickening. There's like a
I've never watched
renegade
the
cut
recuts.
it's like a renegade, but like with Phantom Menace, that was like a fan that did that. In terms of renegade cut Highlander 2, that's like official. That's officially on
Oh, okay.
DVD. And you watch it and it's kind of like, well, they technically did some things that are, I guess, better, but you're watching it the whole time just distracted because you know what it really is. You know that that's supposed to be Zeist. I think they changed it to like a long time ago. They try saying that like part of it's on the planet Zeist but then they changed it from Zeist to just a long time ago, and you watch it and you're like, okay, I get what they're doing, but that's Zeist.
Why'd they take the planet name out?
Because that's a whole other conversation in of itself. That'd take me 20 minutes.
My bad.
Okay, let me put it to you. Let me put it to you like this.
Digressing.
Let me put it to you like this. In Highlander, there's no fucking aliens. They're not from a distant fucking planet.
What?
They're not from a distant fucking planet.
But there can be only one.
According to the first one, yeah. And then in the second one, they try saying that they're from the planet Zeist. It makes you just gotta trust me. It makes no sense. It looks like it comes across like a total fucking retcon.
So it is a
total retcon.
It's one of those sequels that basically says, hey, we're a sequel, but fuck all that stuff you learned in the first movie. Yeah. This is really how it is.
Which is weird, because it's from the same guy who did the first one, but I think he got dicked over pretty bad by the studio.
Deep dicking.
Real deep dick. And I think I read somewhere where when Highlander 2 premiered, he walked out 15 minutes in.
Nope!
Nope! Done. I'm walking out of my own movie.
I would too, though!
But where was I even fucking going with that? But
I don't know, we jumped from Badass Liam Neeson on a plane to Badass Liam
Highlander
Neeson Jedi to Highlander 2.
Okay. But I mean, it's like, you just, if you want to watch it how it originally is, like, just so you can get the experience of seeing Highlander 2 with Zeist and shit, I don't know. But
I definitely recommend seeing this movie on a big screen.
Seeing a Highlander 2?
No,
I know.
this movie.
I know, I'm kidding. I do. I recommend it. Last week we were at 3 Days to Kill. Last week we were at 3 Days to Kill, which very much is the kind of movie you would have expected to see Liam Neeson in, but it was Kevin Costner. Actually, I mean, Kevin Costner was great at it. I'm honestly glad it was Kevin Costner, because of when you see it, like, it was really written more for like a Kevin Costner type than necessarily a Liam Neeson type. Anyway, like, watch my review.
Shameless self-promotion.
Anyway, I think I like 3 Days to Kill better.
Than this?
Yeah. I think overall I liked it better. I think overall I probably like 3 Days to Kill better. If you're going to choose one of the two, I'd probably recommend 3 Days to Kill over this. But I still really enjoyed myself with this movie. It's hard for me to talk about it because, I mean, I was really looking forward to it, and I pretty much got everything I wanted to get out of it. I did. It even did surprise me because if that was like purposeful misdirection on the part of the trailer, it honestly worked. It honestly really did work.
I think maybe it was the way they cut the trailers together, just because of how adamant they were within the movie of trying to change it around.
Yeah.
And I mean, of course they did, the initial few zoom-ins, you're like, well, clearly it's not that person because they're trying to make it seem like that person, but everybody fits into that role within what's going on. You're like, oh my god,
they do that when he first gets on the plane. It almost looks like every passenger on this plane is like...
And there's an Arab, of course.
Yeah, it makes it look like every passenger on this plane would be like one of the terrorists from Die Hard.
It was actually the little girl. She pulled a Stewie, and she was the mastermind behind anything. The detonator was in her teddy bear, which Liam Neeson let on the plane. It's unfortunate. Didn't catch it. Nobody saw it coming.
I would have been like, bullshit.
The bomb is in the teddy bear. No, it's my teddy. Give me the teddy bear.
Yeah.
I could see that happening in a movie, actually, though. A guy prying a teddy bear from a girl. Give me the teddy bear. It's a bomb.
Why couldn't you put the bunny back in the box?
Put the bunny down.
God, there's a movie that hasn't aged well.
Well, again, though, Nicolas Cage is another one of those actors where just anything they're in is magical and watchable.
Nicolas Cage, yeah, he by far and away has the power to take something that would be otherwise unwatchable and making it watchable, and like actually giving it an entertainment value that it would
Even if it's
not
a
have
horror
had.
movie.
Yeah, that it would, giving it an entertainment value that it would not have had otherwise. I mean, he is incredibly great at that.
Real quick, what did you think of the shaky cam? Because, I mean, obviously the shaky cam was excused because of the plane stuff, but there were a few moments for me where I couldn't even tell what the fuck was going on when you were supposed to...
There were a couple parts like that, but it was far, far, far few in between. So, yeah...
Oh, no, it wasn't horrible. I just meant there were some parts that I thought they did it a little too much.
Yeah, I mean, I get that it's a claustrophobic film, but there were a couple of points, especially towards the end, where, yeah, I was kind of like, all right, this is getting a little... But it wasn't... It was very sparse when they did that. It wasn't, it wasn't Hunger Games or Elysium, or... What, didn't we see something that had really bad shit like that in it?
I think it was a horror movie, wasn't it?
Was it? There was something you and I went to go see where we were like, Jesus fucking Christ, with the goddamn shaky
There were a few things, yeah, I can't
Was it
remember.
Kick-Ass 2? I can't remember.
I don't know.
I can't remember. I've tried very hard to forget Kick-Ass 2.
But yeah, the two parts that stood out for me, shaky cam bad-wise, was when you find out the other bad guy and he was like looking for this to the cop, and I couldn't tell what he was holding up because it was shaky until he cocked it in the gun. Like, I didn't know what he had. I thought it was like a cell phone or whatever.
I caught that.
Well, I mean, I was like, what, until he, like, put the magazine in the gun. Then I was like, oh, okay, it's the magazine. But I'm just like, what is that? And then when he's fighting the guy with the knife, it was kind of like, what the, like, you might as well have just showed somebody else while that fight was going on.
Yeah, that part, yeah. I was kind of like, all right, this is getting a little... But it was really brief. Like, it was brief and it was incredibly far few in between. It only does that a couple times.
It's not a shaky cam movie.
No, not at all. It's not like that at all. Yeah, I totally recommend it. I thought it was fun. I thought it was a lot of fun. And I don't know if we got any trailers that are...
That one with the girl and the doll and the horror movie thing.
Oh, that Hammer movie?
I don't. You guys get all the trailers that I never get.
What was The Quiet?
I don't know.
Quiet
The Exorcist
Girl?
2.
Yeah, kind of, in a couple shots, yeah. The Quiet Girl?
Something like
the Quiet
that. From the
Ones,
people that
something
did
like
Woman
that.
in Black.
Yeah, I hope that they fucking go a
Based on
little
a true story.
I hope that they fucking go a little easy on the goddamn jump scares in this one as opposed
It
to
doesn't look like it.
Woman in Black. Oh, I mean, it's a trailer, but as opposed to Woman in Black. And I remember kind of liking Woman in Black, all right.
Except for
but
the very
my
end with that
God.
last...
Well, that, yeah, but also the fucking... Goddamn, the fucking every 30 seconds there was a goddamn jump scare in that goddamn thing. Overall, I remember kind of thinking, like, well, I mean, like, it was entertaining, but I hope this movie doesn't fucking do that. I hope that they're a little fucking lax when it comes to the goddamn jump scares.
I don't like scary movies based on true stories.
We got, the new Purge movie, The Purge Anarchy.
That looks like what I thought The Purge, because I didn't get to see it. You guys saw it, but I remember telling you, I'm like, it should be a comprehensive movie where you've got different things going on and maybe the stories meet up, but not just, you know, a bottle movie in a house or a home invasion movie. So I'm excited, but I know I probably won't get to see it.
I really didn't care that much for The Purge, but I like the backstory of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like
The concept is
the concept you could do some really good satire with. You really could. Like, you could have fun with that. It is so absurd and so outlandish. You could have a blast doing a movie like that. And the first movie just took it and made a generic goddamn home invasion movie out of it. They took this plot that you could do some real biting satire with and just made a movie that I've seen 100 goddamn times. This movie, the second one, I'm looking forward to this. This looks like what the first movie fucking should have been.
And it looks like it revolves around different characters, if I'm not mistaken, unless it's somehow they, like, meet up or whatever.
I don't know, but it's all taking place outside of a fucking house.
Yeah, it's like it starts with a couple's car breaks down, and then you hear the
Yeah.
sirens go off. They're like, nobody's gonna help us, and then it's just kind
exactly
of
what.
warriors, come on,
Yeah.
play.
You could really do some really, really fun stuff
Yeah.
like that with it. And this one looks, the first one should have been, the first one should have been Ethan Hawke accidentally gets locked outside of his house.
Yes.
That's exactly what that fucking movie should have been. It wasn't. It was every other goddamn home invasion movie I saw.
Or I would have liked, it's like, okay, home invasion, but then we're gonna switch to a story over here, and then maybe another story, and then somehow they intertwine. So it's like you got the home invasion part, but then there's other people's stories of stuff going, where it's not just home
if they did
invasion.
something like The Signal and made it like kind of an anthology or an ensemble, that's the only way that home invasion fucking thing would have worked, is if there was like 5 other stories going on at the same time. I really want to see this. I really want to see what they fucking do with that, because the first one was such... I don't know if the first one was a letdown, because it was just what I thought it was going to be. From the trailers, I was like, that looks interesting, and then they made a home invasion movie out of it, and that's exactly what it was when I saw it.
Maybe for someone that hasn't seen a lot of home invasion movies, though, then they would enjoy it.
I know that for a fact, because
Yeah.
Sarah liked it. Sarah and I saw it together, and she liked it for that reason.
See, because I knew too, and we kind of had the same attitude. We're like, no, it shouldn't just be a home invasion movie, because we had watched the one with, what was the last one we saw with like the masks and the people, and I couldn't remember if it was
The
like Liv Tyler.
Strangers?
Yes, The Strangers. I was like, it looks like the fucking Strangers.
Yeah, I mean, The Strangers is a bit more of a suspense-driven movie, whereas The Purge was more action. Okay, it's like the difference between Halloween and My Bloody Valentine 3D. I mean, they're both slasher movies, but one's a little more suspense-driven and one's throwing shit.
Tonal.
Yeah, tonally they're different. And this one, it's like The Purge Anarchy, I think is what it is.
Yeah, Anarchy. Which is it's a good title, because it seriously looks like that's all I was thinking when the mayhem was going on. I'm like, warriors, come on.
Pretty much.
You've got these gangs
Yeah.
and people got their fucking, like, it's just almost post-apocalyptic without
Yeah.
the destruction to the environment. Is how I.
If it does well, it'd be interesting if they actually make it an anthology series of movies.
I could see them doing a bunch of sequels as long as they can keep with the ideas, because there's so much you can do with it.
Well, the first one was instant fucking profit. The first one cost like only $1
Well,
million
then if the second
or
one's
something
good,
like
it won't
that.
do well.
That's usually how it fucking works. The first one was made for $1 million, less than like $10 million, I think, and
It's just a house, wasn't
instantly
it?
made a fucking profit. Well, yeah, but I mean, there's.
I know.
But I mean, like, this one, I'm sure probably has a slightly bigger budget, because yeah, you're right. I mean, it is outside of one fucking location.
Run, runner.
We
Turn
got
into
the
the Running
stupid. We again got the stupid turn off your phones or a bear will eat it, which. Okay, yeah, that's fucking on YouTube now, which proves we're not fucking crazy.
People thought we were lying?
No, but describing it makes us sound like crazy people. Those fucking ads, Jesus Christ.
I miss when they looked like cool spots.
I miss when they weren't a minute fucking long. When
Oh, yeah, that too.
those fucking high concept bumper ads that make it look like they're trying to win an Oscar for best animated short film. It's not gonna fucking happen when you're
Just
at
say,
the
turn off your goddamn cell phone. That's
those
all you gotta say.
fucking those quote unquote creative ads. Jesus Christ, they make no goddamn sense. In this particular case, those are made for people who only go to the movies like once every few months. Jesus, when you're there every week seeing something, they get a little goddamn old. Just play like a 10
I don't
second.
think people go every week.
I guess, Jesus. Just play some 10-second fucking thing on there. Just put up a title card with silly music behind it.
That's what they used to do. And be like, please silence your cell phones now. Instead of a lady walking a cell phone with a dog, it acting like a dog, and then a bear eats it.
Yeah, I don't need to see some fucking girl walking around with her dog like, honey, turn off your cell phones.
And that's the narration, too. They're like, you might think your cell phone is cute, but nobody else does. It's like, well, she's outside, so clearly this doesn't pertain to me in the first place.
Yeah.
It's not
If
even
a bear's gonna
fair.
eat the phone, apparently it's not gonna happen in a theater. It's happening with this dot person walking around her own neighborhood.
The thing that kills me, it's like we ain't responsible if a bear eats it, and then the bear is on the leash because it ate the dog like fucking T-Rex on Jurassic
Well,
Park,
don't put
and she's still walking with it, just like nothing. I'm like waiting for the bear to be like, hack him.
If there's a bear in your fucking theater, the problem is not with your phone, it's with your fucking movie theater that apparently has bears walking around in it. If you're saying a bear might eat my fucking phone. And then that thing is weird, because the guy, I noticed this too, the fucking guy reading the newspaper on the porch, the front of the paper says incoming zombie invasion. Like, what the fuck?
It seems like a like art school type thing where it's like, hey, make this ad. Not necessarily that it's like, oh, it's so art school the way it's done. More so that it's just like that's something you would do. You'd be like, come up with a creative ad with this, and just kind of those little nods. And when the dog was pooping, there was like LOL ROFL, like was the shit.
He's supposed to be taking a shit when
the dot is reading the paper, and then the dog's like ruff ruff, and there's like LOL ROFL, like texts being shit out. You never noticed that?
I noticed the I noticed all of that. The LOL ROFL whatever.
Yeah,
I
like
noticed,
the dog's like this, like he's like taking a shit.
I didn't.
They don't actually show it coming out of his bum, but it's like because the guy's got like the paper, and the dog's like, you know, that's like the poop.
I didn't put it together that it was supposed to imply that the phone dog was taking a shit. God.
It was phone dog poop. So now, whenever you text LOL, you're texting phone dog poop.
Man. They're all weird. The one before then was a group of teenagers in a movie theater, and then the theater turns into the forest.
That one's old. The Troll in Central Park ad is what I call that.
Where it looked like it killed everyone else in the theater, turning into the woods, because apparently they're now fucking buried alive under the grass and whatever. But you know what? That was weird, but it was short.
And it was like, just kind of like, it was cool in 3D the first time 3D movies started coming out and they showed it in 3D. It was just...
Oh, yeah, I mean, like, yeah.
Like, I'm over it now.
but it was short. Also mercifully short. It was like 10 fucking seconds long. Well, what's, I've actually got to go back to the theater in a little bit. Brian and Sarah's movie started literally when ours got out. Theirs started at 10. Ours got out literally at 10.
He's taking the car and dropping me off because I don't want to wait for like 2 hours.
Oh yeah, shit. We still got like an hour. I'm gonna go home and maybe film a couple of things. And
you should come and watch The League.
Yeah, I still got to put that DVD. I'm still putting that DVD together. Luckily, I got done editing Jailbait Babysitter before I had to leave. The next week is the fuck is next? Oh, 300. Like 300 and I think Peabody and Sherman.
Word cheek.
I'll be at it too.
I don't have sympathy for you anymore with what you put people through.
Oh yeah, because I never watch bad movies.
But you're the one orchestrating. You're like dance puppets, so I don't feel sorry for you. Veronica Mars is the week after that, I think.
I actually hear Peabody and Sherman is not bad.
I didn't like Peabody and Sherman in the first place, so I won't like it. It's got the funny voices still. What are you doing here?
Oh my! Well, Christopher Columbus, I don't know how I'm going to discover this new country. Well, Mr. Columbus, you've just misplaced your compass, you see. Why, thank you.
And people thought Speed Racer talked weird. He basically talks as fast as Sherman. It's just the different tonal.
Kinda. Well, that's next week, and so we're gonna kill some time, and then Brian and Sarah are gonna talk about Son of God.
It'll be very inspirational.
Yeah, I'm sure. All right, see ya.